Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Accolade and welcome to the top 15 PvP base locations on the Volcano map. And the Vigilant PvP server is down today, so I decided to make this video for you guys because I'm getting pretty comfortable on the Volcano map, and I didn't see a whole lot of videos talking about actually really good PvP locations on this map. So I'm going to be discussing the top 15 bases that I either see on my server or that people haven't built in yet but I think are really good locations. For number 15, we're here in the desert, and the reason this is number 15 is because I really just don't like the desert very much. It's really hot and I find that it's really annoying to get water that much, but there are a ridiculous amount of super flat spaces around here. I mean, you could easily put a small base, turret towers up on all of these locations here, on these plateaus here, and impossible to reach without flying dinos. So I mean, you could build a base here, set it up with turrets, and it would be very hard to raid. Not to mention the Giga spawn, which is right here, where Gigas usually spawn every couple days right here, and that's where actually I found my 112 Giga. So great location, but I really don't like how hot it is here, so this is why it's number 15. So for number 14, I really like this location because it's super flat. It's easy to build a really large base here, and there's only one entrance, which is over here, so you can really block this off with gates and make sure that you're not accessible by land dinos. There's only one way up here, or two ways up here, which is over on that side, so you can really block this in with gates and make a really big base here. So if you're a big tribe or a tribe that needs a lot of space when you're building, this is obviously a really good place because there's a ton of space. And the one thing I don't like about it is there's not much metal. There's not really much special about it, but it does have all the necessities. It has wood, fiber, stone, all that's good stuff. So I rank this number 14 on the top 15 best base locations. And let's move on to the next one. So for number 13 on the top 15 list, I really like this land bridge right here for the PvP base locations because it's really flat and there's only two entrance points for land dinos. So you can really turret this place off and gate this place off and protect it from all flyers. I really like to see someone build here because I think there's a lot of opportunity, and there's really no way to raid it other than from the air if you block it off with behemoth gates down there or normal dino gates, and from that side as well. It's also really flat, so easy to build out of foundations, and there's also a Pteranodon nest right here, so if you're just starting, you can actually trank these boys out and they won't actually fly away from you, so that's really nice. And for number 12, I really like this base location. This is actually something you might recognize because this is where I'm building on the Vigilant PvPvE server. I love this spot because of the metal nodes here and up here. One choke point, you can really lock it down from all land dinos over here. It's not very big, so I would suggest this spot for smaller tribes, even a solo tribe similar to what I have. But there is water right down here. Sadly, I have tested it. You cannot build in there, so you can't run pipes from down there up to your farming and crops up here, which is a shame, but there's tons of metal, tons of resources, and really easy to lock down. Plus, it's flat, so this probably looks familiar because I have built here, and I'm really liking it. There are also RG nests here and here, which I've taken advantage of. You can trank those out and tame them really easy as soon as you start off, so that's a bonus. So yeah, I'd rank this number 12 on the best 15 PvP base locations. So for base location number 11, I really like this spot here. It takes place in this ruins right here, and it may just look like a normal base location. It has lots of rocks and trees and fiber basic necessities around it, but in here is actually a giant ruin, which is super cool. You can actually build in all of these, but beware, the hedges are a little bit glitchy sometimes and you can get stuck in them. But this is a massive cave system which you can build in. It goes all the way back here. It extends on for so long, and there's actually only one choke point. So you can really just block this off, turret this up, and it's a great base location. As you can see, there's an artifact in here. On the Vigilant PvPvE server, we actually don't allow building in caves, so make sure you check with your server rules before you build in here because it is technically a cave with an artifact. So this is a really good PvP base location for those servers that do allow building in caves. So for base location number 10, there's a really large flat area up here, but also In this cave here, there is a huge cave system filled with tons of chitin, tons of polymer from mantises, and this is usually where I go to get my chitin. It's a very large cave system, tons of flat places to build. It is massive. As you can see, there are flat places to build all along here that have no access from land dinos if you gate them off. So some really strategic areas you can build as long as cave building is enabled on your server. On Vigilant PvPvE, it is against the rules of building caves, but if you're on a server where it is allowed to build in caves, I would definitely recommend this place because it is really easy to block off and there are a ton of strategic PvP areas. For base location number 9, I found this base really interesting. There's actually tribes building here on the Vigilant server, but it's actually a huge tunnel with water in the middle. You can easily bring underwater dinos into here, but as you can see, it's flat on both sides with really no access from flyers if you block these ends. There are 2 access points from this side and that side, but easily blocked off with behemoth gates and things like that. And there's tons of metal in here, tons of thatch, wood, stone, whatever you need. So this is a really good base location strategically and for PvP, because once you turret this place up, it's going to be so hard to raid this and siege it, especially if you can get water dinos in here like mosasaurs and things like that. Because if you try to take a giga in here, you can easily kill it with your underwater dinos. So this is number 9 on the top 15 base locations. On to the next one. This is base location number 8, and the reason I have this listed as number 8 because this is really flat up here. There's a loot drop, metal, stone, trees, everything you're gonna need for building a base, and it's really hard for those land dinos to climb up these edges. So you can actually gate these off, put turrets, and it would be really hard to siege, really hard to raid. Nobody's building here yet on my server, but I'm really keen to see if anyone will and if it will be a defendable spot. But I think it's a really good PvP base location. It's really flat, it's elevated, and I think it's easy to defend. So this is number 8, and let's move on to the next one. For base location number 7, it's very close to that mountain that was listed as number 8, but it is super flat and very hard to access by land dinos. So you're mainly going to be using flyers for this whole ring around here. You can actually gate it off at any point, segment it, and build your base. It's super flat. There's metal nodes in the redwood forest, which I actually love that biome, but as you can see, it wraps around this entire volcano. So you can actually use behemoth gates and segment these flat parts out, and it would make it a very good PvP base location. This actually extends all the way around, as you can see, and extends all the way around the mountain. So I would recommend building here for PvPers on a PvP server because it is flat, it is very defendable, and it's hard to get your gigas and those land sieging dinos up to the base location. For base number 6, this is actually still in the redwoods biome, but it is a super flat, super awesome base location. I feel like it was made to build a PvP base in here. I mean, just look at it. It's super flat, only 2 land dino access points, super easy to choke, and a ton of space. So if you're a big tribe, I would suggest building here because there's spots for turret towers. I could just envision a super big base here, and I would really think it would be very defendable because there is a access for land dinos here, but it is easy to block off. And on this side, it is more of that plateau, which I don't think there's a way to get your land dinos from this side. No, there isn't. So yeah, I would suggest this side of the redwood biome at these chords because it looks like a great PvP base location. For base location number 5, I chose this spot right here, which is actually built into a stump. As you can see, it's really flat. You can easily build turret towers all the way around the edge here and gate this off with gates here. Obviously, it's a little bit easier to access with land dinos, but it's an awesome place to build if you're a solo tribe or a small tribe. It's really a good little pocket in the redwoods. There are ores all around. The volcano is super close. You can line this entire area with turret towers, and I just think it's a really solid PvP base location. And for base location number 4, it is here located in the snow biome, right here on this ledge. there's actually a large tribe building here on my server, Vigilant PvPvE. And there's tons of metal around, a really nice base location, because you can really choke this whole area over here, and it would be really hard to get land dinos. There is lots of metal and trees around, as you can see, and it is super flat. The reason I like the volcano map for PvP is because there are tons of flat spots to build. I can just envision a really big base being built here, and I can see how it would be really defendable with all this metal around and the inaccessibility for land dinos to siege it. For base location number 3, I chose this volcano here in the middle of the map. Some servers you might get in trouble for building here because technically you would be blocking off a lot of these resources, but look at the amount of metal. You can actually build right over the lava, which is really strategical, because if they break any of your stuff, all of it will go straight into the lava, and it is really impossible to get here with any land dinos. So they will be restricted to just flying dinos, and if you can line this area with turrets, you're going to be pretty much untouchable. Not to mention the ridiculous amount of resources that you can find here. This is definitely one of the top PvP base locations if your server allows it. Base location number 2, it's located on an island in the corner of the map, and it's actually very hard to get any land dinos from over here to this island in the first place. But once you get here, there's actually a huge drop with a waterfall, which is super cool, down into this cave. And I really like this cave because there's only 2 entrances, that entrance which I just showed you, and this entrance right here, and you can really block that off with gates. And look at this cave in here, it is beautiful. There are all kinds of resources, chitin, and I heard they were mantises from one of the people that play on the server. They go here to chitin farm and polymer farm, and as you can see, there's a ridiculous amount of dinos here. It is crazy. It is an awesome area to build if your server allows building in caves, which mine does not. But it is still an awesome PvP base location because there's only 2 entrances and really no way to get your land dinos to this area. And finally, base location number 1. This is a place where lots of people from my server are building, lots of people that I know at least. It is a really strategical and awesome place to build. There's metal, pretty much every resource you would need, all in this little cave here. Impossible to get land dinos and easy to block off, only 1 entrance. As you can see, there's a ton of flat land to build here. I can envision tons of awesome builds, tons of space. No matter how big your tribe is, I think you can probably fit it into this massive cavern here. You can actually fit your water dinos, and it's just a really awesome base location. The reason it's on my list is because of the abundance of resources and that there's only 1 entrance. So I would like to see a base in here actually hold up a defense against a raid, but I think it would be fairly easy considering that they have materials to stock up on, and it's going to be primarily an air-based raid. Keep in mind that this top 15 was not based in any particular order. They're just 15 base locations that I thought would be really good to build your PvP base on your PvP server on the Volcano Island map. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more best base location videos, hit that thumbs up button. The server was down today, so I decided to do this instead of the normal Let's Play and rating videos. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I post more than once a week, every single week. I hope you guys stick around, and thank you for watching.